Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and today we are going to talk about Microsoft Excel 2016. In this video, I will be showing you the basic interface of the Microsoft Excel and some of these key points we will discuss in the video. Alright, let's get started with one by one. The first one is Excel interface overview. So the Microsoft Excel, or basically every Microsoft product that you see in the office, has the same interface. In the file section, when you open the Microsoft Excel, you have three options: home, new, and the open. They all work the same. Open is to open the documents that you already have saved. New is to create new workbooks or some other templates that you can use, and home is something that you have recent documents and also to create new documents as well. It's both the combination of new and open. All right, and after you create a blank workbook, you have ribbons, tabs, and the toolbars. Ribbons is this white part as you see on the top. This entire thing is a ribbon, right? And on the top we have tabs: home, insert, page layout. These are the tabs. When you open a tab, a ribbon opens. As you can say, home ribbon, insert ribbon, that entire box is a ribbon. As for the toolbar, it's the top green bar you see. That is a quick access toolbar where you have your save option, and you can also manually add multiple options just by right clicking it, and you can say add to quick access toolbar, right? So if you see, oh, it comes here down here, right? Now let's move to the next one, workbook and the worksheet. Many people get confused in a workbook and a worksheet different. So let me explain. Workbook is your entire document. Let's say you have an Excel file saved in your PC. That entire file is your workbook. Once you open a workbook, you have an option to create multiple sheets here like this. At the bottom, you have sheet 1, 2, 3, 4. Each sheet is a worksheet. Sheet 1 is a separate worksheet, sheet 2 is a separate one, and the combination of all these worksheets is called a workbook. As for the rows, column, and the cells, so the one you see on the left side, the numbers are the rows. Row 1, row 2, 3, 4, 5, and goes on. As for the columns, they are the vertical ones: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and goes on all the way to the X, Y, C's, right? So these are the column and the rows. As for the cell, as you can see here, rows and columns are done. Cell is a combination where rows and the columns meet. So as you can see, I am at the D7. You can see on the top it says D7, which means the column name is D, and on the 7th row, that is a cell, right? So that is a unique ID of the cells. Even here, if you type, let's say H20, the cell will jump to H20 right away because that's a unique ID for that one, right? So this covers our basic overview of the Excel, how you can easily navigate within your own documents, right? Now the next part is typing in the cells, autofill, deleting, editing, copy paste, and drag techniques. So typing is very simple. Click on the cell you want to type in and you can just start typing, right? So this is one way of typing. The second one is you can click on any cell and you can go to the formula bar. So this white section you see on the top is called a formula bar. This one we use mostly to type the formulas, especially the long formulas. But you can also use this one to add the text here, right? So you can use this one to add the text as well, right? As for the copy paste techniques, there are a few techniques you can use. You can use Control C that we discussed in the last Microsoft Word video. It works the same. And you can Control V, V, and Control V. You can use this one, or there is a faster way. Click on the cell. If you see a small rectangle, a green one on the edge, click on it and drag all the way down, right? and there you go. You have your entire single cell copied to every single cell of that column. Now, how it works for the series? Let me show you how it works for the series. All I have to do is press number 1 and do the same. Goes to number 35. I have 35 ones in each cell. But what if I want to add a numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You're gonna do exactly the same. And after you finish, click on the autofill option and click fill series. That way you will have your number all the way till 35, and you can go all the way to 100,000, whichever the number you prefer, right? So this covers our typing in the cell, autofill, copy, paste, and drag techniques. Now for the deleting and editing portion. Deleting, you can either select everything and press the delete button, or you can right click and select delete. And once you're done, you'll have this option here. Shift cells left, shift cells up, entire row or entire column. So these options works like if you delete these options A1 to A35, would you like to shift the cells left, which means the B column will become the column A, or you want to shift cells up, which means the row 36 becomes row 31. And if you click entire row, which means the entire row 1 to 35 will be deleted. Entire column A will be deleted. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift cells up. So we have A36 to A1. There we go. There you go. So the 36 was an empty one. So it became empty all the way up. But if you see here, right? Let me drag this one to number 5, and here let's say we type only sing, right? And we drag these ones to number 10. So let me show you the difference between shifting cells left and shifting cells up. So once I delete the jsync and we click shift cells left, I have my numbering shifted to the left section. On the other hand, if I click shift cells up, I have my word sing shifted up, right? So this is how it works. So this covers our first two parts, entering, editing data, and also the overview. Now let's move to the formatting section. Formatting section, we have bold, italic, underline, and cell alignment, number formatting, and cell coloring, border, and text wrapping. So let's say, let's increase the size of this specific text so you can see easily. So the bold, italic, and underline also works the same as in the Microsoft Word. Bold, italic, and underline, right? So this is pretty much the same thing. The only difference that we have is the borders. The borders are in the Microsoft Word, we have the border in a separate tab, but here in the Excel, we have right beside the bold, italic, and underline. So click on the arrow and you have an option to choose which type of border you want to add. So let's do the all borders. So as you can see, the cell is highlighted, and if you go to the print section, you will see the border is already highlighted with the black line, right? All these other text, they are not highlighted in the border because they are not within the border. So if you go here and click on all border again, you can actually see it creates a table with a black line giving you a proper borders for each cell, right? And then the next comes is our number formatting and text wrapping. Number formatting is pretty simple also. Go back. There we go. So number formatting, as you can see, I have a numbers here 1 till 35. So this is just a number, right? So what if these are the currency items? Should I be putting a dollar sign in front of all of them? No. So click on the number, and in the general section, in the up here in the number format section, you have multiple options, right? So if you want to put it as a number, click on it. Let's select all this first, and then once you click the number, You can see there's two decimal places after those numbers. You can change these ones up here in the number section as well, increase decimal or decrease, right? You can decrease this one or you can increase this one. It's up to you, right? And then comes the currency. Currency works the same. You have to, let's say in the Canadian format, we have $3.00. Let's say it's $3.65, right? So there it goes. So $3.65. You can increase these ones, but I wouldn't suggest it because the cents or whatever the currency you have, they might be up to 2 digits maximum, right? That's how the governments like to keep it, right? And then the next one is the accounting. Accounting is also the same, it's just a little different from the currency because in the accounting section you might have a little bit more control over the dollars. And then we have a date format, short date, long date, time, percentage also. As you can see, it's 100, 200, 365, 400, 500, 600, 7, and all the way to 3500%. If you want to add a percentage, right, click the number. Let's say you type 1. This is 100%, right? So if you want to add 10%, you have to go in the decimals 0.1. 0.1 means 10%. When you click on the percent, it's 10%. You want to do 1%, 0.01. So whichever the percentage you want, divide that one with the 100, whatever the number comes, you type it, right? So let's say you want to put 0.001%. How would you like that? 0.00001. Now, if you put this one into the percentage section and increase the decimals, there we go, 0.001. This is how the percentage works, right? So you can have explored these options in the more number formats. You have all these items, date, time, percentage in a multiple formats you can choose from, even the scientific ones as well, right? Fractions, text, specials, phone number or a social insurance number. And you have a custom option where you can choose how would you like to add your specific format on your text. This covers our basic formatting section, except the cell coloring and the text wrapping. So text wrapping is pretty much as simple that we use in the Notepad or the Microsoft Word. Let's say you have some text that is going beyond your cell, right? After I do this, you can see the cell, the text is not within the cell. So you can click the wrap text, which actually wraps it and increase the height of the row so you can actually see all the text within it. Because if you don't and I start typing in here, that text is lost. The word sing, the last one, I only see SI. The NGH is hidden. So after you text wrap it, you'll be able to see all of it. And then there's one more option. It's very useful when you're typing long items on, like, let's say table headings or any kind of table title or anything like that. And you have to cover multiple columns in a same row. So click all of them and add merge and center, which will make it a single cell. So basically it takes all the cells and merge it all together. So it becomes a single cell, not four separate cells. You can do multiple ones. You can do 4, 5, 9, 10, or 20 itself as well, depending on the size of the text you have, right? Let's zoom out this one and proceed to our next one. So the next one is our formulas. So the formulas is the basic, I would say the most basic part of the Microsoft Excel, like the reason why we use it, right? So the formulas helps us in a multiple manner, right? You want to, you have a actually multiple numbers that you want to add. You can use a sum. You want to create an average of from like numbers, or you want to get the minimum number out of some text or the maximum, multiple items, right? So let's go ahead and use all of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one, and I'm gonna create a series here. right, till 20. So this is 20 ones, which means the sum, the addition of all those numbers should be 20. So if you want to get the total of these numbers, you can click on any cell where you want to see those total numbers, and you're gonna start typing is equal. Make sure to put the equal sign because otherwise the formula will not work. And you type sum bracket start, and you click number 1, number 2. Oh, you can do this manually this way, but this one will take a long time. So instead, what you can do is you can put a column saying I want the sum from A1 to A20, right? As you can see, all those cells get selected right away. Once you close the bracket and hit enter, you can see I have a number 20. Now, the formulas are a live preview, right? So if anything changes within these numbers, the total will change itself. So let's say in that number 12, I put 10, right? So the total will be 29, right? There you go. The number of the sum changes right away, right? So if I go and do the average is equal to average, and again the same thing, A1 to A20, and close the bracket, hit enter. Now the average is 1.45 because of this one, because of the 10. It says 1.45, but if I put this one to 1, it shifts back to 1. The average is 1. So let's say this one is 3 and 3 and 3, 3, 3, 3. There we go. So the average is 2. And why is that? Because the average, if you take a look, how many numbers we have here? 2 of them, right? And what's the total of these two numbers? 4. So 4 divided by 2 is actually 2. So the average will be 2, and we have an average here of 2. If any number changes, let's say this one goes to 6 and this one goes to 4, the average and the total changes right away. So any kind of changes to these numbers will change the total in your formulas as well. And then comes the minimum and the maximum, right? They also works the same. It just the minimum you can use to get the minimum number out of a series, or the maximum number out of the series using the max formula. So minimum works the same, A1 colon A20, and then we have our minimum number 1, and then we can do the max A1 colon A20 bracket close, enter, and then we have the highest number 6. If I change this one to 30, you can see the maximum number changes to 30, average and the sum changes as well. Also, if I change this one to 0.0.02, so the minimum changes to 0.02, also the sum and the average as well changes, right? So these are some of the basic formulas. In the next videos, we will go through more formulas later on. I can show you here. We have our financials, all those formulas, logical, text, date and time, lookup and reference, math and trigonometry, and then we have more functions in the statistical, engineering, cube, information compatibility, and web. We will go through most of these formulas in some next videos, but in this video I'll be keeping it limited to these 4 formulas because it's gonna be way too much for you guys to handle, right? Also, how to apply formulas across rows and the columns, right? So let's say 1 to we have 1 till 10 as a fill series, right? And here we also have 1 till 10 series, right? What if you want to have a sum of all these columns, right? So 1 plus 1 is 2, you want to have 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6. What if you want to have a formula in every single cell of the D column, right? Meaning that you want to add A and the B and you want to display in the D section, right? Or let's make it actually more fun, add the C as well. There we go. So the copying also is the same. So sum, add the formula just for one, A1 to C1, right? So make sure to keep an eye on the cell unique ID that which you are reporting. If you by accident you put C11, it will get the whole item, right? So make sure to keep an eye on which cell you are typing so it gives you the exact series that you want to add. Once you hit enter, you can see I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and simply drag the formula. But here's the twist. Sometimes the formula changes accordingly, right? So let's say that these ones, yes, oops, sorry. So as you can see here in the formula bar, I have A1 and the C1, right? Which actually gives me the access, like once I drag, it will change to A2, C2, and then A3, C3, A4, C4. It automatically changes. But what if I drag to the right side? I only have two. And why is that? Because the column shifted as well, which means now instead of A, B, C, now it's B, C, D. As you can see, it's B1 to D1. To avoid that, what we can do is click on the A1 in the middle and press F4. Once you press F4, you will be able to see a dollar sign in the middle. So a dollar sign means that the column A and the row 1 will be constant. No matter where you drag it to, it will be constant. It will only take a number from A1 only. So as you can see, so once I drag to the bottom, the number changes. So it's A1 to C2, which means A1 to C2, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So total is 9 here. And once I drag bottom, it's 18 because 9 plus 9 from this is 18. So it becomes a series instead of making it in the same row and adding those columns, right? So this one forces the Excel to keep that specific column or the row or the entire cell same. So if there's $2 signs, which means the cell itself is stable, it's constant, it's permanent. But if you delete one, which means now that column A is constant, it will not change. It will only take a values from the column A to C1, which means column A to C1. And if you drag it downstairs, it will stay the same because the column is the same. But if you drag to the right side, it will take A2 to D2, right? So in the previous one, we see that shifted to B, C, D, but right now it shifted to A, B, C, D. The reason is the column A, right? There's a dollar sign in front of column A, which is keeping it constant. So this is how you can drag your formulas across your worksheet without affecting your results, right? You can also put this one in front of the 2, press F4 number of times and it will change automatically, right? So once you've done that, and no matter where you go, you will see that the A2 to C3, which is A2 to C3, this is the total, right? And once you drag it down, you will see that it's A2 to C4, right? But if you drag to the right side, you will see that it's B2 to D4. So the row 2 is always constant. It will always be included in your formula. No matter where you move it to, no matter where you drag it to, it will always be included in your formula. So this sums up our basic formula section. Now let's move to the saving, renaming, and the exporting of the workbooks, right? So the sheets that you have here at the bottom, they can be renamed. Just right click on them, click rename, and you can type them as, let's say, formulas. And you can also give them a specific color so it's easy for you to find later on. Click on the tab color, and let's say we have a red. And once you switch, you can see the formulas is a red one and one. You can easily find it when you are having multiple worksheets, and you can easily find the one you're looking for, right? It's also the color coding, you can say. As for the saving, it's the same function as we have in the Microsoft Word: file, save, and you can choose any place that you would like it to save. Let's say we have a desktop, right? So you can rename the file here, let's say jsync, and you can type it as a Excel workbook, and you have multiple options to choose from. You can do the PDF, you can do a XML file, web page, XML data, or just a normal text, whichever you prefer, right? So let's go with the Excel workbook and click save, and your file is saved. Once you close it, you will be able to see your Excel file here and as an Excel workbook. Once you open it, you can see the same data, whatever we did is already there along with the formulas that we put, right? Everything is still there. Now, as for the bonus step, it's a keyboard shortcut, control arrow and control shift plus L, right? So the control arrow is a tricky one. So if you press control and a bottom arrow, it takes you the last row it can generate afterwards, right? It already has, right? This is the last row it can generate, which is, I would say, 1048576, which is I don't even know which number it is, sorry. So if you press control and up again, it takes you again back to the top. Again, the left and right works the same. Right will take you to the far edge, and the left will take you to the left. Now, this also works in one other different way. Let's say you are here in the cell A2. Once you click control down, it will take you to the down, right? It's gonna skip one, as you can see. This one is a text here, like a separate text. It's gonna jump from the top to bottom and then to the top of the next one, right? And if you can see here, if you do right, it jumps to the very far edge, right? Like this. So this is how it works. So this sums up our today's video. Hope you guys like it, and also press the like and subscribe button, also the bell icon to get notified about the new videos. Have a wonderful week, guys. Thank you.